Well, good morning everybody from the devastated campus of the Polytechnic University. We have entered the campus via the clinic, which hasn't been spared some of the destruction following the fierce protest battles that went on for days last week here in Hong Kong. Very difficult to get in, let alone out of the site at the moment. But I've had a quick tour just before this live to see where may be open. This, of course, where a lot of the protesters were treated before medics were allowed on the scene. Eventually, Médecins Sans Frontières and Red Cross medics attended, and some of the students and protesters left in ambulances. And we're just about to go out here to the main entrance of PolyU, and as you can see, it really does resemble the aftermath of a war zone where there were fires, bricks, Molotovs. You can see the logo of the university buried there amid what looks like a Pepe teddy bear. There's some riot police outside, and there's some cleaning going on around the streets of Hong Kong. Otherwise, it is this time of year when we were meant to see graduation ceremonies. We see the top there just lined with umbrellas. So it's very unclear as to whether there is anyone actually still on campus. Having had a quick whip around, it seems mostly journalists, some of which have been staying overnight because access is a problem at the moment. If you want to get in, you need to swap with someone else from your media outlets. So the police have pretty much locked the campus down from people entering or leaving and have restricted how media are accessing the site. Let's just show you some of the devastation here with some of the chairs that have been burnt, and some Now TV journalists just going past us here. It's unclear perhaps if there are any students or protesters hiding. There could be a few or dozens, but the police, at least late last week, said that they have no imminent plans to storm the campus, and certainly that would have been a messy thing to do had they have tried it last week. They could, of course, have been holding off for the elections to pass yesterday, and I'm sure you'll have seen the news on our site this morning that it's been a big victory for the pro-democracy camp. Normally all those district council seats are held by the pro-Beijing crowd, but amid a huge turnout, pro-democracy candidates, some of which citing the protest slogans of recent months, have managed to score victories across the territory. 1 million more had registered to vote, and so some of those victors are hoping to come here today and have a bit of a victory lap around PolyU. You can see police were concerned about the campus because they said it was being used as a bomb-making factory. Certainly there's a lot of apparatus left from folks cooking up Molotovs here. There's countless, dozens of them ready to go. Now the students and the protesters who are here, they were told that anyone can face 10 years for rioting should they remain on campus and get caught, or if they leave they will be arrested. I think more media looking around there, sleeping overnight. I've already got myself lost, I'm afraid. So yeah, under Hong Kong law, if an event is deemed a riot, then you could face a decade behind bars. Here we have some bricks that have been lined up just at one of the entrances below. Bricks previously just used to lob at the police lines, but in recent weeks they've been used to simply obstruct officers as they try to sweep through. So dozens of helmets strewn around. It was said last week that they've enough food to last a year, but that doesn't seem the case. Mostly protective gear and Molotovs around here. Lots of graffiti, and few parts of at least the ground level buildings have been spared vandalism. There was concern from some of the students of PolyU that there were outside protesters coming in and committing acts of vandalism and ruining the campus. So some things have been marked not to lay siege to. These guys here, journalists. Some have been here for days. Others have been swapping out with other members of staff. Lovely day. Graffiti, 5 demands: if you burn with us. Going just over there, you got the new science block, which many have earmarked to be spared from destruction. So here we are waking up after that big victory yesterday, district council elections. And just on the flagpole to our right, you can see no sign of the Hong Kong flag or Chinese flag, but the Taiwanese flag, Republic of China, fluttering there. Autumn breeze. All the windows smashed along this block. Police have blocked all of the official exits, though people have managed to creep in and out. Some of them shimmying down ropes onto waiting motorbikes. You can see here a huge SOS spelt out with helmets and fabric. Others have attempted to escape via the sewers in something akin to the climax of Shawshank Redemption. But some of those were also caught. So the hygiene and food situation has got a bit desperate on campus, and some of the eateries, let alone 7-Eleven up here, have not been spared. A little bit of looting. So this I guess must be the student union building. No damage written on 7-Eleven here, but as you can see, things have been looted from this branch. So people were trapped for many days. And here is a statue of the goddess of democracy, reminiscent of the one in Tiananmen Square during those student protests. A lot of people remarking on the potential for this scene last week to become a Tiananmen 2.0. There she is with a face mask and saline. Seems to have been some effort to get in the bank, but most of the stores here in the student union are unscathed. Just a lot of medical equipment, a lot of injuries coming out of PolyU in recent days. Well, let's press on a little bit. You can hear in the background The fire alarm ringing out, just journalists wandering around. Been rumours of people going through old trays of food just to try and eat, but as I say, there doesn't seem to be much sign of anyone on campus at the moment. Whether they've managed to creep out or are hiding, it's unclear, but police, at least last week, said they had no immediate plans to take the campus. More barricades down here. There are many endings. The right one is the one you will choose. There's the graffiti just down there. I'm just going to take you over to one venue that has not been spared destruction at all. Starbucks. Frequent target after the daughter of its franchisor spoke out against protesters at the UN, and several times after. And then we'll pop over to the bridge where the most fierce battles took place. So graffiti everywhere. It's going to take months surely to get the campus back to its previous state. And this wasn't the only theatre last week. We had battles at CUHK2. Here Starbucks absolutely devastated. Very eerie sort of tour this morning with no one else around. Completely smashed up. Still a couple of lonely croissants on the table there. Victory, victory, victory at all costs, declares this bit of graffiti. If I can get my bearings, we will head over to what is pretty inaccessible bridge, where probably in the most dramatic moment we saw protesters flood a armed police vehicle with Molotovs, causing it to retreat. A few keep clean signs around. I'm lost. A lot of black clothes around. This likely people abandoning them, changing into other clothes as they seek to leave the campus. Ideas of bulletproof. More barricades here. Well, this stuff seems to have been pilfered from Lab's petroleum ether. This science building, it looks like. Oh! It's another entrance to the campus, totally barricaded. It's just have a look beyond it. Well, just to recap, if you're joining us, because I think since I'm so lost, we're going to sign off shortly. PolyU saw some of the fiercest battles of the entire protest movement and has been totally devastated, with very few people now knocking around campus after police surrounded it and forced a lot of protesters to come out or to go into hiding here. But all we're seeing today is media knocking around. It's unclear if there are anyone else on the campus. Could be some people hiding. It is huge. But at least last week, police said that they had no immediate plans to storm the place, but that could have been because of the run-up to the district elections, where Democrats scored huge victories. Some of those victors from yesterday's district elections will be coming down to PolyU today, but police have the entire place on lockdown. For media, it's one person in, one person out, and anyone leaving, if they're protesters, could face 10 years in prison for rioting, although Chief Executive Carrie Lam has said that those who are under age, under 18, would not be immediately arrested, but they could get follow-up later on. So we're going to leave it here. Stay tuned for some updates from PolyU probably later tonight.